So today I wanted to test a couple of the features with the Evo, one of them being dynamic track, which is like Autel's version of active track. The other being how far it can actually go without getting a video signal error. And I've got some results. They're not super scientific. Again, we got to keep in mind that this is all pre-release software, but stay tuned. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Phones, Drones, and Tech. I'm Original Dobo, and if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button at the end of the video. If you like the new channel art, you love the new intro, thank Chino Santana. He's been a fantastic subscriber from the very beginning, and I'm actually working with him on doing some rebranding of the channel. We're also going to make some shirts that aren't really related to my channel, but just more or less for the drone industry itself. There's really not a lot of drone apparel, so look out for that coming very soon. Should be really interesting. So thank you, Chino Santana. And if you guys would drop Chino some love in the comment section, just tell him how awesome the artwork does look. Okay, so I went ahead and took this out to the preserves again and got a chance to fly it. And you guys are gonna probably hate me, but I didn't range test it as far as it probably should have been done, just because a couple of things were making me really nervous while I was out there. One, low flying planes for some reason out by the water, and lots of birds. The other thing was the horizon tilt on this was driving me absolutely bonkers. It was driving me bonkers. I'm not gonna lie, it's really bothering me. I did have a conversation with Andrew earlier this morning, like really early, like 3 in the morning early, about the issues. They are working them out. It's going to be rectified with software. It's an interesting gimbal system that I am on pre-release software. So this is no different like than phones go through. Obviously phones don't fly in the air, so it's not quite as dangerous, but it is dangerous to use pre-release software and to do range tests and things like that. So I was in a field that there was no houses, nobody around for miles and miles and miles. It was nothing but marshland. So if it did go down, everything would have been totally safe. I also remained visual line of sight throughout the entire time. So one of the FAA rules is you have to remain within line of sight of your craft, and I definitely did that. So I abide by all their rules. So you can hate me or like me for doing that, but I'm just trying to sort of protect our hobby, guys. So with that being said, we took the craft out, and I say we, me, took the craft out, and I wasn't really impressed. 2,063 feet, I got my first video signal error. And it was at that point, I was sort of feeling a little bit nervous and uneasy with it. So I turned it around and brought it back. It did go further than my X-Star did before it started having video breakup, which that's a plus. Again, it's pre-release software, so I'm going to be doing more tests. I need some spotters. So if there's anybody local to the Tampa area that wants to spot, just contact me at phonesdronestech@gmail.com. I'd love to have you out, help me film. By all means, contact me. The second thing I did was I tested dynamic track. And I have to say, I like the way this works. It works very similar to that of active track on DJI drones, and it works just as well. It was able to discern objects around, and it actually got confused with the shed. It didn't know how to maneuver around it. You'll see it, but it never actually lost me. Even though it stopped following me, it never lost my track. So then once I started moving back around the shed, it started tracking me again, which I thought that was pretty cool. There are 3 modes when it comes to smart modes. You have a tripod mode, you have dynamic track, and then you have a parallel mode, which it will track you panning sideways. Again, I'm not going to really test those too much more, just because the tilt is going to give people the wrong impression. And in trying to remain biased, I think it's important to make sure that everybody does understand pre-release software and that nobody's spent any money on this yet. You have pre-orders out, just be patient. I don't want to lose this drone before I can tell you whether or not these issues have been fixed. So bear that in mind. I hope that is an acceptable answer for, today's test. I'm going to wait until the software is released next week. That should fix some of these issues, and then we'll retest it and see what happens. Monday, I have Bo Lorenzen on Up in the Air Live. Up in the Air Live is going to be housed on Google Hangouts. We are having issues with vMix right now, so Bo Lorenzen will be on the show. We're going to do a little Q&A with the Evo, so if you have questions, feel free to drop in, stop in, say hi to Bo. He's a fantastic guy, and if you haven't already, check out his channel and subscribe to him as well. Lastly, DJI did announce an event on July 18th, and I'll be there. So I'm going to cover that live. So Billy and myself will be giving different perspectives and different takes on the DJI event. We're also going to have some awesome collaborations while we're up there, and we're going to eat lots of cheesesteak. Lots of cheesesteak. I love cheesesteak. That's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content today, hit the like button. If you didn't, that other button's working just fine, obviously. And as always, stay original. I will see you next time.